I'm going to actually jump in here real quick. So a couple people are talking about like a very serious way of dying and different ways of crossing over that's serious and very painful. And we believe that the soul chooses ahead of time pretty much more or less how they're going to cross over. So they kind of know in advance. And I think the souls that transition in a very dramatic way, I think there's something they want to experience about themselves in that format. And, you know, we've had a lot of past lives.
As a soul, not
like
as a
thousands
human.
Of past lives.
Right? That's
as
the thing.
Soul.
Because no human wants that experience. That.
But souls are different because souls are eternal and souls are the oversoul, the higher self, the one that wants to express itself and understand itself. So I know we've had thousands of past lives, and I know we've been everything and done everything. I'm sure we've murdered people and we've been killed and we've
eaten by an animal,
everything,
drowned.
And I think as the soul evolves, you start to get to a point where you probably want to cross over a little bit less and less dramatic, perhaps. Do you know the story?
I'd like to cross less and less dramatic.
Do you know who has the best crossing over story?
Who?
Yogananda.
Yeah.
Yogananda, I am so jealous of his story. He planned his death just on, like, I'm not talking like suicide. I'm not talking he took anything.
No.
He was so aligned and so centered and so at peace with himself as a teacher and who he is. You should read his book for sure. That was one of my first reading material.
Autobiography of a Yogi.
That was the first book Riz gave me to read to understand spirituality. And it was very interesting because it told his childhood story and then how he became who he became. And he was just like everybody else. And he was just, you know, going through life.
Yeah.
But he just had this divine wisdom. Anyway, long story short, he was on stage the night before. And I think he had planned or told somebody, this will be my last night. Or he said goodbye.
It was just on the day he said to his students, this will be the day I leave you.
Yeah.
And he was not sick.
Yeah.
And he goes in the other room.
Right.
And he sits down like in a meditation pose.
Mm-hmm.
And he leaves his body forever.
He just leaves his body. That's it. Now, my grandmother, she sat at dinner one time, the last time she was here. And she crossed over by sitting at a table and she closed her eyes and put her head down and went to sleep while in the middle of a dinner party, which is for her personality type. It kind of sort of matches a little bit.
Your grandmother?
But yeah, Grandma Ellen.
Wow. That's right. We haven't talked about that in so long.
A bunch of people at the table.
Right.
Yeah. And
can you imagine everybody at the table?
Yeah, everybody has their story, you know, of how they crossed over. And, you know, we've lost both of our parents and we have stories. And then you've also lost